good morning, everyone. Can you hear me clearly? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. All right, thank you. All right, if you can, you please turn on your camera. All right, I mean, that's much appreciated. All right, so I only have 2 students who submitted the answers for this week. What happened? Can you explain to me in the chat, please? You forgot or you could not see the questions in the portal, or you're just too busy, or you're lazy. All right, please explain to me in the chat what's happening if you have not submitted your work for this week. Right, so let me turn on the slides. So I only have Hei Ying and Charmaine who have submitted their work. Okay, yes, you should be able to see my slides. So this week, Miss Ivy so said, okay, Ziqi, you just submitted. I generated the report 15 minutes before the lesson. All right, so it will be great if you can submit the answers much earlier. All right, so let me see if I can regenerate the report right now. Okay, so I have 4 of you, Hei Ying, Charmaine, Kirana, and Ziqi. All right, so let me see. So I'm going to add on the name here. All right, so we have Kirana, we have Ziqi. All right, so only 4 of you submitted. What happened to the rest? Please help me by submitting your work, because when you submit your work, right, then you will find that the tutorial will be more helpful to you. Okay, all right, let's start. Now, I would like to give a warm welcome to Yiran, right, who is the first time joining the science class today. All right. Okay, let me just click on. So this is the rules for the sake of Yiran. We are using the chat. So they'll be asking a lot of questions. So feel free to use the chat, and then do not worry about giving me any wrong answer. All right. So all answers are respected here. So if you do not understand, all right, so please don't be shy to say that you don't understand. It is okay to just be upfront and say you don't understand. Or if you cannot remember the answer, just write IDK. IDK means I don't know, all right? Or you can just say not sure, or you can guess the answer and put a question mark behind, right? If you need to go toilet or get a drink, please type into the chat to inform me that you're going toilet or you're getting a drink. And then when you're back, just type into the chat that you're back. So this is an ongoing promotion. Please continue to share 88 Tuition with your family and friends. Right, so let's start. Okay, now let's say you have a question that tells you melting point. Okay, we all know melting point of water is 0 and boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Now, can everybody type into the chat your answers for A, B, C? Right, so what is the state of this substance at 80 degrees Celsius? What is the state of this substance at 101? What's the state of this substance at -1 degree Celsius? So can you tell me solid, liquid, or gas? Type in the, if you think it is solid, liquid, gas, you can type like that, SLG. If you think it's liquid, solid, you type LLS. Okay, well done, Ziqi. The rest? Right, can I have your answers, please, for A, B, C? You can use short form, all right? If you think it's solid, gas, you're SSG. Okay, well done, Charmaine. All right, so I have 2 good answers, 3 good answers. Yiran, well done. Okay, the rest of you, all right, try and give me the 3 answers. Okay, Hei Ying, your first 2 answers are correct. The 3rd answer, also correct. Well done. All right. Now, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers, but I have 7 of you. So I have 3 students who have not submitted. Okay, Kirana, your answers just come in. All right, well done, Kirana. So I have 5 correct answers. I'm still waiting for 2 more students. Let's see. Okay. Wesley, have you I don't think I submitted your answers, Wesley. No, Wesley, I'm asking you, you misunderstood the question. No worries, all right? So I'm asking you, is this a solid, liquid, or gas? At 80 degrees Celsius, what is a substance? All right, what is the state of the substance? Now, when we say state, it can be solid, it can be liquid. There are three states, right? Solid state, liquid state, gas state. All right. So over here, it is liquid. Okay, what about the rest? All right, Wesley. How about part B and part C? What is the state of the substance at 101 and at -1 degree Celsius? There are three questions here. All right, there are three questions here. Okay, so let's take a look at how we do this. So 80 degrees Celsius. Now, if this number is 0, if this number is 100, then 80 will have to be somewhere here. All right, so at 80 degrees Celsius, it is a liquid. All right, if it's any number, basically, if you're talking about any temperature in between the melting point and boiling point, all right, any temperature in the center, any temperature in between melting point and boiling point, then it must be a liquid. Right, so at 80 degrees Celsius, it is a liquid. Now let's take a look at 101 degrees Celsius. So look for 101 degrees Celsius. So 101 degrees Celsius has to be here. So at 101 degrees Celsius, it has to be a gas. Then let's take a look at -1, -1 degrees Celsius. If this is 0, all right, then -1 has to be here. So at -1 degrees Celsius, it has to be a solid. All right, so is everybody clear how I get the answers? So what I want you to know is this, okay? If you are talking about a temperature, any temperature, all right, that is all right, that is lower than the melting point, then it has to be a solid. Okay, so I'm using short form melting point MP, boiling point BP. Now, if you have a temperature between melting point, all right, between melting point and boiling point, in between, then it has to be a liquid. So if you're talking about a temperature that is higher, all right, temperature higher than boiling point, a bigger number than the boiling point, then it has to be a gas. Okay, so I hope that you understand this part. Okay, so temperature lower than melting point is a solid. Temperature between melting point and boiling point is a liquid. Temperature higher than boiling point is a gas. All right, now once you're very clear with this, now this question is a very easy question. Let's now do the other one. What happens if I have another new substance? The melting point is -187 degrees Celsius. The boiling point of that substance is -100 degrees Celsius. Can you give me these two answers? All right, can you answer part A and part B? There are two questions here. What is the state of this substance at -125? And what is the state of this substance at -54 degrees Celsius? All right, so can you type in the answers? Okay, well done, Hei. The rest? All right, take some time to look through. Okay, give me the answers for part A and part B. Okay, well done, Kirana. Hey, hang on. No, not Kirana. I'm seeing wrongly. Hang on. So only Hei and Iran have given me the answer. Well done, Hei, and well done, Iran. Okay, Wesley, your first answer is correct. You're thinking through the second answer, right? Ziqi, your second answer is wrong. First answer is correct. Okay, so those of you who got this wrong, right, that means you are not familiar with your number line for negative. Okay, now Wesley, okay, your answer is correct for the second part now. Yes. All right, so Ziqi, you want to try again? Okay, Kirana, well done. Okay, so now in order to do this, what you can do is you remind yourself the number line. All right, so we have a number line like this. So we have 0 and then 1, 2. Right, then here is -1, here is -2. here is -3, here is -4, and so on. All right, so it becomes more and more negative. So first look for -125 degrees Celsius. All right, so -125, if this is -100, so imagine this is 0, then this is -1, this is -2. Right, then you have -99, -100, then -101. All right, so on and so forth. Then here will be -186. Here is -187. Here is -188. All right, so this is how you do. So this is 0. You will get more here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, on the right, no problem. What students struggle with is on the left, the negative numbers. So if this is 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, it gets more and more negative. So -99, -100, -101, -102, -186, -187, -188. So look for -125. So let me use a different color. All right, so -125 will have to be here. I use a cross so that you do not get mixed up with the boiling point and melting point. So melting point, I'll do a straight line. Boiling point, I'll do a straight line. So at -125 is a liquid. Then look for -54. So -54 has to be here. So at -54, it is a gas. All right, is everybody clear what I'm doing? So it's basically you divide the whole area, the number line, into 3 parts. All right, so it's like splitting it into 3 parts. Okay, so this is like the first part, this is the second part, this is the third part. All right, so in between melting point temperature and boiling point temperature, in the center, in between, it will be a liquid. Any temperature that is lower than the melting point, it will be a solid. Any temperature that is higher than the boiling point, it will be a gas. All right, any questions so far? Now, once you have known this, then you can answer this question. All right, can you type into the chat what's your answer for this? Okay, for this, right, Kirana, would you like to try again? Hey, Charmaine and Ziti, you did a good job. All right, you answered correctly. You submitted your answers earlier. All right, then Kirana, would you like to try again? So actually, you realize that it is actually this, you are given the, now can everybody type in the chat, what is this state? They never tell you solid, liquid, or gas, but instead they draw you the particles. They draw you these particles. So is this a solid, liquid, or gas? All right, can everybody type into the answer? Okay, well done, Ziqi and Kirana. All right, so this is a liquid. All right, so you write down liquid here at -125. Then at -54 degrees Celsius, what state is this? Can everybody type into the chat, what state is this at -54? What is the state here? You can see that the particles are far apart. So good job, Kirana and Heying. It has to be a gas. All right, because the particles are so far apart. Okay, now once you know this, then you go and draw your, all right, so you then look for all these numbers. Okay, minus, if here boiling point is -100, so here will be -99, then you have -100, then -101, -102, and so forth, -125. All right, then after that, okay, let me write -125 here. Then here will be -186, -187, -188. So therefore, -54 will have to be here. Right, so let me box up at -54. It has to be a gas. All right, because it is higher than the boiling point. Then at -125 is in between the melting point number and in between the boiling point. All right, -125 is in the center between melting point and boiling point, so it has to be a liquid. All right, which actually tallies with this. All right, so it's a liquid at -125, which tallies with this, and it's a gas at -54, which tallies with this. All right, so the answer is A. All right, is everybody clear? Okay, Kirana, you answered this question wrongly earlier, but do you understand now? Please let me know. All right, if you still don't understand, feel free to just type you are still confused.